finished our Duke of Edinburgh Award bronze expedition.
Our aim was to analyse human effect on the environment, both positive and negative. And what we've done is we've taken photographs to use in our PowerPoint presentation. And what we've found is litter and stuff along them lines that people have dropped and left behind on their journeys.
How did you prepare for your expedition? How have the staff helped you prepare both physically and mentally? Give examples.
We prepared for the expedition by doing like training, like first aid training, which is physical sort of and preparation for the thing, and mental preparation, like I don't know, like the practice expeditions and things like that. They sort of trained you for the actual thing.
Is there anything from any of you, anything that's particularly helped from the staff that you feel has been useful, either an element of training that's been put on, or your practice walk in the moors where you first went out just for the day? Anything in particular that's been really useful, or anything that somebody said to you that...
I think the feedback that we got from the practice expedition has been really helpful, because then we know what we can and cannot do on our final expedition.
Bro? Okay.
How effectively did the group work together? Give an example.
I think that the group worked very well together, because we had to permanently make sure that everyone stayed together and that we could all cope with it. And it's a big part to make sure everyone is agreeing with where we're meant to go. For example, when we were coming down Rosebery Topping, there was a bit where we could either go left or right, and it took time, but when we all agreed where to go, it ended up being the right way, which is good.
What skills do you now have that you didn't have before starting the Duke of Edinburgh Award?
That we can now like read a map in our bearings to find out where we are, like in the country, to see if we're lost, and like we can pick out certain things in the map to find out.
What were the high points or successes? Explain why.
Well, we all worked as a team, and even if we fought a little bit, we still managed to get here. And we just all were patient with each other, and we enjoyed it.
What were the low points or weaknesses? Give examples.
I think at some points when we found an area of the map where we either didn't know where we were, or there was a cross section of paths where we go left or right, the group sort of argued over which way we wanted to go, but then once we finally found out what we wanted to do and surveyed the map, then it all sorted itself out. We found our way.
Would you recommend this to others, and what advice would you give?
I would recommend it to others, definitely, because it helps with your physical fitness as well as being able to learn skills like reading maps. But when you're planning your route and that kind of thing, it's really important to think about what distances you'll be going and if it's possible. Otherwise it just gets really difficult when you're out.
What's the main thing that you've done differently this time to your practice expedition? So the main thing that you would say is it's the most important thing that you learned on your practice that has had an impact on your final, the thing that you wouldn't do again but maybe you did do on your practice.
Take our route card seriously, because in the practice expedition we just like sort of messed around doing what we'd see and stuff along the lines and along our journey, and this time we have planned it properly, because on the practice one we just got lost all the time. We didn't know where we were and things like that, because we didn't know what we were surrounded by and what we were meant to see. And on the final one, because we did it properly, it was easier to navigate and see where we were as well.
Brilliant. Have you got a sign off?
Bye.
Bye.
Classic.
Cool.
Cool.
Well
Cool
done, guys.
cats.
Mega cool.